What's going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. Yep, we're back over here at the base today. We were working in the Nether, I believe, in the last episode, sorting out the clerics for our gold farm, which, by the way, have actually increased by, I think it's like 2 flesh per emerald now. Although it keeps on going up and down depending on how long I leave in between trades. Like, it did jump up to 27 at one point, where I just think that they hadn't reset properly, and then they dropped straight back down to 1, then up to 2, and yeah, so it's sort of, I think it's the whole whispering and all of that stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but the overall price is more than low enough for us to get full advantage out of it, and we're now not hurting for redstone. Like, I've got nearly a full shulker of redstone blocks out of it, so just that alone made it worth it. Now, what we want to do is work on the base area. I actually wanted to work on the smelter down below. So we've got our kelp smeltery, our kelp farm, and then we want the smelter. But looking back at it, it's more of a case that the kelp farm that we've got in place at the moment is nowhere near producing enough and not reliably enough. So as you can see, we've got obviously just this little bit of floating kelp that's now not doing anything because the piston has pushed out and broken the actual water block. So, and it's very, very slow, and because it's not loaded as often, like my base, I very rarely AFK at my base because there's very little reason to. So it's not a case that I'm here for hours upon hours on end, and I've not got any sort of continuous farms. I've got like the sugarcane farm sitting above my villagers, but that's mainly for just so I got paper on hand in order to make rockets, and oh my god, I hate these guys. So what I want to do is actually expand the kelp farm before even considering working on the smeltery, and we need to actually make it go back by, yeah, I saw you. Make it go back by 8 because that's how far we need the drop off to be. So that is 1, and then I don't know what tool to use. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that's where our items are going to drop, and then it's going to go back by 32, and I've already lined it out on the other side, but it does mean that we are going to have to come into here momentarily because it's going to be running underneath here. Obviously this area is going to still be filled back in, but just so that we've got this sort of lined out, it's going to be a lot easier to clear it out. And then each section is going to go up by 3, so you're going to have the growing section, pistons, observers, and then the kelp's going to be on the observers. Yeah, on the observers. So what is it? Got kelp, piston, observer, kelp, piston, observer, kelp, piston, then observer, kelp, piston, observer, kelp. Okay, so this is going to be like our max line that we're actually going to be able to put our water stream on, and I think we're going to be able to get 4 layers in the space that we've got without it actually going all the way up to the surface, which is obviously something that we don't want. But I am obviously going to have to pick up this sand and then place it back down on probably some sandstone or something like that, because obviously we don't want it to be exposed like this. This is really getting annoying because this is no longer even the ring that I'm going by on our tower. I've actually sort of been working on that in between episodes. I've been working on design of the 4 towers that's going to be going around, and I'm very, very close to being done on the design. It's just, it takes so much longer because I'm not overly confident when it comes to the cosmetic side to builds. It's more of a case that I will start building something and I will change it about 1,000 times before I'm actually happy with it. The same thing with the walls is that I spent around about 7 hours building the wall, and I just wasn't happy with it, and it looked like absolute garbage. And then I took the time to plan it out properly and make sure that the design worked, especially going on curves, because you can't have such a repetitive pattern using a lot of detail as it comes around the corners, like around that section, because obviously you get different sections at different lengths, so you have to sort of make sure that the pattern that you are using is going to work on any number of columns or pillars that's going around. And I think I managed to pull that off just barely doing that. But let's sort of get rid of all of these guys, and I'm going to have to dig this all the way down. So what I'm going to do is actually dig this all the way down, and once I've got low enough to show you exactly what it is I want to do with the farm itself. It's a very, very common design, I do believe now, and it's a very, very simple design, but hopefully I can manage to get at least 4 layers in, because that would be 32 times 4, so it would be 128 in total. Is that right? So 32, 64, 128. It will be 246 kelp plants growing, rather than just the 64, because obviously we'll have both sides of 4 layers, provided this actually works out alright. But yeah, let me crack on and sort of get this dug out, and I'll bring you back once I'm ready to start laying down some redstone to show you the very, very basic concept that the actual farm works on. Alright, so I've managed to clear out the reasonable area behind it and above it, all the way up to the surface. Now obviously we're going to sort of have to cap this off at this level here, and I do believe we're going to have to probably fill some of it with water again, but hopefully I've got all of the bits necessary in order to build it, because I've not actually checked. I have got a bat's head from where I was in my creeper farm area. My creeper farm also needs a sort of decor do over, because I've had to replace the water tray that's coming down with the majority of it being obsidian, from where pufferfish keep on attacking the creepers and they're blowing up the glass very, very easily, which is obviously not helpful in a farm that depends on the glass. We're probably going to need some more pistons. So what we are going to want is an entire line of these guys like so on top, and then what we are going to want, a redstone line of dust is going to be directly behind that. Can we bust you guys? Okay, mainly because I just want the kelp. Thank you, and then that's all of you. Thank you. So with the kelp, we are then going to want the next line of kelp to be directly on this block here, which is the observer, because yep, they can grow on observers. Was that seriously all of the kelp that I managed to grab? Okay, so there's a bunch of it just floating there. I am going to have to do some trickery and force grow the kelp. By force grow I mean just bone meal it, just so that it fills the entirety of the area that needs to be filled with water, because okay, that wasn't too low, it's fine. We need one more bit. Thank you. So that's that line there, and then we are going to want some concrete. Mainly because concrete's our building block. So then we're going to want concrete along here, because we're going to have the redstone line underneath that. And come on, all the way to the end. I have had to cap this off because we got the hopper clock, which is obviously not going to be relevant, so I can probably tear that out, but underneath that I've got the whole timing circuit for triggering the kelp smeltery, and that is a circuit I do not want to go messing with, because it is so, okay sure, why not, it's so overly complicated that it's borderline just insane to try and mess with it. So we want pistons here. Oh, come on. Yeah, right, mate. We did actually finally lose the guy who was oh great, who was just pretty much living in our kelp farm. Okay. And the one that was there for ages, like I first built a kelp farm, and then we had a drown sort of spawn inside, and because he picked up the kelp, he never despawned, and eventually I think he must have suffocated when the area was unloaded and reloaded. The same thing sort of keeps on happening, that with my iron golem that I keep on spawning next to my villagers, that the pack spawning of zombies, you're allowing zombies to spawn in the daylight areas, I believe. Not the daylight, but obviously above the light level 7 areas. So then we want a line of observers, which is all happy days here. It's going to be another 32. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go craft some more redstone bits and pieces, but luckily we're at our base, so it's not like we have to travel far. I may also replace all of this glass with white glass, just so it matches that, and it's a lot more cleaner look with the white glass. So this is what we're doing. We're doing a tiered system that goes up, and we should hopefully be able to get 3 layers in. So if I just say, so you've got kelp, that, and then we want piston, and then let me grab some more observers. Have we got any more? We've got 52. Obviously not enough to it, but I just want to see how many we can actually fit in here. And then that goes onto there. And then we want block, and then you, and then observer. Oh, we are going to be cutting it very, very close because the ground would then have to be raised, so we are only going to be able to get 3 layers in, not the 4 that I was hoping, unless I drop the bottom layer down by a couple of blocks. Is that even something that we could possibly even consider doing? Okay, yeah, we have got a couple of blocks leeway underneath there, and then because we would need what? Got a kelp there, and then we're going to want the water line above it, so I think at least 2 blocks. If we drop the entirety down by 2 blocks, I reckon we can probably get 4 layers in. Yeah, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get the 4 layers in rather than just the 3, because obviously in total it adds up to another 64 kelp plants that we could be having run over here, which is definitely something that I want, because more the better, you know, especially considering that it's going to be our fuel source for smelting. Obviously we've got the super smelter, and there's a little bit of a redesign going on with that at the moment, mainly for the fuel source, because the system that we've got in place isn't exactly sufficient enough for it. But what I'm going to do is drop this down another couple of blocks and then get the entirety of this side done and that side done, and hopefully bring you back after I've done all of that. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back after I've got this all in place. Alright, so I've managed to get all of the redstone components in. Oh my god, my chair's proper on an angle to be recording. Yeah, so I've got all the redstone components in, and I've sort of filled the area with kelp just so that it was all water source blocks up to the ceiling. But before we go putting in the redstone, I am actually going to have to break all of this and then replant it, just so that it activates and it doesn't create water source blocks right at the top where we're going to be doing the water stream. So what I can show you quickly before having to do that all on camera, I will actually go out the back this way. Actually, let's grab some redstone just so I can show you what I'm doing. Redstone. Grab some of you. I'm not too sure. Oh, that was a sort of cave noise. So I've created a way around the back of these things just through here. Obviously this is now a redundant hop clock that's unnecessary because it's not running off of that. And then where we've got the gaps here is where we're going to be running redstone cable. So going straight along there, so when one activates, it will activate up to 15 along. And then what we are also going to want, which I completely forgot now, thank you, without suffocating, we're going to need some ice in order to do these waterways, and I do hope I've got some in my chest just up top. I should have in my ice chest anyway. So let's grab you. I don't know if we got normal ice in here, or is it just... Oh no, we have got normal ice. Sweet. We hop down here because what we need to do is also do the waterway at the top and then carefully remove the blocks. But what I can show you is that I've actually done a layer right up there, which is, oh my god, it's going to be so difficult trying to get up there. Nope. Oh, that actually worked. yeah, so this is where we're obviously going to have the layer of water coming from this side all the way along. And then what we've got to make sure is that we break all of the kelp plants first of all, because if one of them grow at the height that they are currently at, it means that they're going to create a water source box on this flowing water, which is something we don't want. These observers are obviously going to be activating the pistons below as soon as the kelp creates. So I'm a little bit worried that this may be cutting it a little bit close, but we'll find out if I need to raise this level by 1, and it won't be overly hard to fix it. It will be a case that I'll have to sort of block in all this area and then just redo the water streams, but these will then wash all of the kelp down to here, and then we're going to be doing a single line feeding straight down into this area here, which is where our original kelp system was running to. So yeah, let me get all of that done and I'll bring you back when it's hopefully working. Alright then guys, so I've been doing this now for a better part of a couple of hours, and I think I finally got it all working. I didn't end up, other words, I did end up having to fill in front of the observers, and obviously where I busted the stone bricks with water source blocks, just to ensure the items would actually float all the way up to the top. And they are actually doing that, and obviously it being a kelp farm, it's not going to be insanely quick, but at the moment it is obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times as quick. I wouldn't say that's 6, was it? It's, you've got 2 lines and we've doubled and then doubled, so it's quadruple the speed of what it was, should we say. And yeah, we are at least getting some coming in, and it's rather steady pace as well. I'm quite happy about, and I know that we're hitting about the 15-minute mark, so what I wanted to do today definitely isn't going to get happening. No, that definitely isn't going to happen, because I did actually want to get the full smelter in place, but with time ticking on how it is, it's going to take a little bit longer, because what I actually want to do now is actually do a redesign of the flooring and shift this section of chest where we're crafting the fuel more towards the center point. And then the fuel distribution I want to redo, because I want to be able to extend the track going down below to our other furnaces, because I want to evenly distribute the kelp blocks obviously up here to re-smelt the kelp, as well as down below to what is going to be our proper smelter. So once I figure out a system for that and I've got it in place, I'll bring you back to show you exactly what I've done. Alright, so I did actually shift this over completely, and I've got rid of the line of hoppers that you could visibly see, which I was really not liking about this system. So all of these pick up, and then we've got 2 hopper lines feeding into a set of 6 double chests instead of just the 4 now. So we've got a lot more room for the smelted kelp and crafting, although I do need to sort out the water sources around here, because I keep on getting pushed and pulled. Can we break one of these on here? Is that going to carry on pulling us? No, okay, that's fine. But we are getting pulled that way, so how about if we do one of them? Up here. We're getting pushed, so maybe that. I don't know. I might as well just get some kelp, you know, and just actually grow it here. Just make sure it's all water source blocks, just so we can float in and out. Now, I was going to carry on and sort out the actual collection and dispersion method, but the situation being is that without me having the other furnace array built, I cannot determine exactly which way I want these minecarts to run. And we've got 2 of them, and the whole point of me shifting this over is what I want to be able to do is come down here, get all of the hoppers, obviously, get these smelted kelp, craft it into kelp blocks, and then just put it into another double chest for it to then be evenly dispersed between our smoker array for actually re-smelting the kelp, and then our main furnace system, which is going to be below. But without having the main furnace system in place, it's impossible for me to determine the route and the way that I want the item, or the kelp block dispersal thing, because at the moment what I've got down here is proper sort of budget and temporary sort of things. So you sort of just hit a lever on either side after it picks up the kelp blocks and distributes it just to up this section, and obviously we're going to want it distributing down below. after we've built the main furnace array. So all of this here is going to be torn out. The carts going up there are obviously going to be kept in place, but I'm probably going to have a sort of stop and go section in the middle of the track. So it will come across here, and then it will probably get held up somewhere just like here to restock, and then it will head back underneath to then do them furnaces, come back, be held, and then go up this way, and it'll be like a back and forth U shape is what I'm thinking at the end of it. But I did shift that over, which wasn't actually nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. We actually doubled up on the hoppers feeding in, so no matter how much kelp sort of comes into the system, we're sort of covered, because each time it smelts, it's smelting like 3 or 4 double chests worth, and it won't actually trigger until it has got 3 or 4 double chests worth in sort of back storage. This glass is really starting to wind me up though. Very tempted to just swap it out back for the clear glass for the time being until I figure out why it's doing that. I may try to get it, so we are actually getting the kelp a lot quicker than what we were getting, but it does mean a little bit more AFK in this area just to sort of have the fuel build up. But until we've got the furnace array, we're going to be in the area digging that out anyway. This room back here can probably be gotten rid of though. This is like completely just unnecessary now, this hopper clock, so I could probably tear that out. That was actually initially activating our kelp farm, but obviously with it now being fully automatic, we don't really have to worry. And I am going to have to create a overflow protection for the kelp as well. The thing is that it's very hard to implement it because this system is triggered automatically, so the overflow protection system is actually going to have to be at these chests here rather than the actual kelp farm. So it's going to be at the smelted kelp, which means we run the risk of it running out of fuel if we leave it running without crafting more blocks. So it's just something that I've got to sort of stay on top of, really. It's not one of those systems that you can just say it and forget it, which is unfortunate because there's a little bit more manual crafting involved with the kelp blocks, but it's very hard to want to have an ocean base and not use the ocean renewable fuel source like we are. So I'm quite happy with the setup that we've got at the moment. I'm extremely happy with the fact that we've now fully upgraded our actual kelp farms, because this will produce fuel at, what did we say? So it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, yeah, it's 4 times the speed that we're going to be getting the actual kelp at. As you can see there, it's all going up and flying off. And over there, this side we've got a lot of pink flowers indicating that that is its max growing. But then we're just waiting for the ones in the middle to sort of kick off by one more, and then that will activate them sections. So yeah, it's all happy days there. I more than likely will change the glass out before taking a screenshot for this episode, because trying to get a screen, it's not terrible if we have, say, like that, but then I'm not overly happy with the glass in the middle doing that weird glitchy thing, and I can't exactly take one like this. How about if we go all the way back here? Yeah, so you can't really see much. It's really weird though, isn't it? It's like it's from 2 completely different angles and you get completely different viewpoints. But hello squid, it's very fortunate you just happened to decide to swim right in front of us when we're trying to record. Yeah, I may swap it out for glass and see how it looks, but like standing right here, oh my god, really guy, come on man. Just trying to do one thing, just go away. Okay, yeah, from here, from this exact angle, it's not terrible, but swimming around in here, the glass is really triggering me, and we've got a bunch of kelp now coming in. I'll just take a screenshot there and I'll compare it to when we get the clear glass back in. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Before I talk your ear off anymore, it's just my thought processes, and I know that I didn't get nearly as much done today as I was hoping to. I thought that this was going to be a lot quicker, but it has actually taken a good few hours to dig it all out and plan it all out, redo the waterways, reshift the collection method and make sure that all the redstone workings were fine. I did have to make sure all the chests were cleared of any rubble because we can't have that feeding into the smokers. but I'm quite happy the way that it's turned out. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully you're not overly disappointed with what we managed to get done. I just don't want the episodes overrunning longer than about 20-25 minutes anymore, because I don't know, I'm taking screenshots when I want to go into F5. Yeah, I don't want them overrun. I'm going to try my best to keep them below 30-minute marks, because a lot of them lately have been hitting like the 35 to 40-minute mark, which I do apologise for. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.